Imagine sitting quietly in a room with the person who raised you, believing that the conversation will be nothing more than another ordinary family moment, only to hear words that completely change the way you see your future. Imagine looking into your grandfather's eyes and realizing that he has been carrying a secret for years, a secret connected to the person you love, a secret that could determine the direction of your entire life. And imagine hearing him say that before he leaves this world, there is one final thing he wants from you. That was the moment Tian Xiwei could no longer hold back her emotions. Before we begin, make sure you stay until the very end, because the final wish her grandfather reveals changes everything between Tian Xiwei and Jeang Lingi in a way neither of them could have expected. And if you love emotional stories filled with love, family secrets, difficult choices, unexpected twists, and unforgettable moments, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this story is about to take you somewhere you never expected. The evening had started peacefully. There was nothing unusual about the house. The lights were warm. The rooms were quiet. The soft sound of the evening breeze could be heard outside the windows. Tian Xiwei had arrived expecting to spend some peaceful time with her grandfather. She had visited him many times before, but something about this evening felt different. She could not explain it. The moment she entered the room, she noticed the unusual silence. Her grandfather was sitting quietly near the window. He was not watching television. He was not reading. He was simply looking outside. His expression was calm, but there was something behind his eyes that immediately caught Tian Xiwei's attention. She slowly walked toward him. "Grandfather," she said softly. He turned toward her and smiled. It was a gentle smile, but Tian Xiwei noticed something unusual about it. It looked like the smile of someone who had already made an important decision. She sat beside him. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Tian Xiwei eventually smiled and asked him why he was so quiet. Her grandfather looked at her carefully. Then he reached for her hand. The gesture immediately made her uncomfortable. Not because there was anything wrong with it, but because he rarely behaved that seriously unless something important was on his mind. He looked at her and asked if she was happy. Tian Xiwei smiled. She said that she was. Her grandfather asked if she was certain. She nodded. But then he asked another question. He asked whether she was happy because of the life she had chosen, or because she was afraid of disappointing the people around her. That question completely caught her off guard. She stared at him. She did not know what to say. For years, Tian Xiwei had tried to become stronger. She had learned how to smile when she was tired. She had learned how to remain calm when people misunderstood her. She had learned how to continue moving forward even when life became complicated. But her grandfather had always been different. He could look at her for a few seconds and know when she was hiding something. He knew when her smile was genuine. He knew when she was worried. And he knew when she was pretending to be stronger than she really was. That evening, he knew. He gently squeezed her hand. Then he told her that there was something he needed to discuss with her. Tian Xiwei became nervous. She asked what it was. Her grandfather looked toward the door. Then he asked if Zhang Linge had been treating her well. Tian Xiwei froze. For a moment, she could not even respond. She looked down. Her grandfather smiled slightly. He told her that he had noticed the way she changed whenever Jeang Lingi was mentioned. She tried to laugh it off. She told him that there was nothing unusual, but her grandfather simply looked at her. He did not argue. He did not pressure her. He only said that sometimes the heart reveals the truth before the mouth is ready to admit it. Those words stayed in Tian Xiwei's mind. She became unusually quiet. Her grandfather continued. He said that he had watched her grow from a young girl into the woman she had become. He had seen her dreams. He had seen her disappointments. He had seen the moments when she was happy and the moments when she cried when nobody was watching. And now he believed there was one thing she needed to understand. Love was not simply about finding someone who made you smile. Love was about finding someone who could remain beside you when life became difficult. Tian Xiwei listened carefully. She could feel her eyes becoming wet, but she tried not to cry. Her grandfather then told her that he had been thinking about her future for a long time. He wanted her to live a life where she did not constantly wonder whether she had made the wrong choice. He wanted her to wake up every morning knowing that she had chosen a life that truly belonged to her. Then came the sentence that completely changed the atmosphere. Her grandfather said that he had one final wish for her future. Tian Xiwei immediately became still. She asked him what it was. He did not answer immediately. Instead, he looked at her with a serious expression. Then he told her that his final wish was not about money. It was not about fame. It was not about family reputation. And it was not about what other people expected from her. His final wish was about the person she would choose to stand beside for the rest of her life. Tian Xiwei's eyes filled with tears. She asked why he was telling her this now. Her grandfather said that because sometimes people wait too long to say what matters most. Tian Xiwei lowered her head. A tear quietly rolled down her cheek. She wiped it away quickly. Her grandfather noticed. He gently told her that she did not need to hide her emotions from him. That was when Tian Xiwei finally broke. She covered her face with one hand. Her shoulders began to tremble. She tried to speak, but her voice became weak. She told him that she was afraid. Her grandfather asked what she was afraid of. She admitted that she was afraid of making the wrong decision. She was afraid of choosing someone and discovering later that she had misunderstood everything. She was afraid of hurting the people she loved. And most of all, she was afraid that no matter what she chose, someone would eventually be disappointed. Her grandfather listened without interrupting. Then he told her something she would never forget. He said that she could not live her entire life making decisions based only on fear. Those words struck her deeply. He told her that fear could protect a person from making mistakes, but fear could also prevent someone from experiencing the life they truly wanted. Tian Xiwei looked at him through tears. Then her grandfather finally revealed the most important part of his wish. He wanted her to choose a person who would never ask her to become someone else just to make the relationship work. He wanted her to choose someone who respected her dreams. Someone who could stand beside her during difficult moments. Someone who would protect her heart without controlling her life. And someone who would still choose her when everything around them became complicated. Tian Xiwei immediately thought of Jeang Lingi. She did not say his name. She did not have to. Her grandfather already understood. He asked her if she believed Jeang Lingi could be that person. Tian Xiwei could not answer. She looked down. Her tears continued falling. Her grandfather did not push her. He simply waited. After several moments, she finally whispered that she did not know. Her grandfather smiled gently. He told her that not knowing was not a weakness. It simply meant that she still had something important to discover. Then he told her that there was one more thing she needed to hear. Tian Xiwei looked up. Her grandfather said that he had already spoken with Jeang Lingi. Her expression changed instantly. She asked what he had said to him. Her grandfather remained silent for several seconds. Then he explained that he had asked Jeang Lingi a simple question. If Tian Xiwei ever had to choose between her dreams and their relationship, what would he want her to choose? Tian Xiwei stared at him in disbelief. She could hardly breathe. She asked what Jeang Lingi had answered. Her grandfather looked toward the window. Then he smiled. He told her that Jeang Lingi did not hesitate. He said that if he truly loved Tian Xiwei, he would never ask her to abandon her dreams for him. He would rather stand behind her and watch her succeed than become the reason she stopped chasing what she wanted. Tian Xiwei began crying again. This time she could not control it. She turned away and covered her face. The thought that Jeang Lingi had given such an answer without knowing she would ever hear about it touched something deep inside her. Her grandfather reached toward her shoulder. He told her that this was why he wanted her to stop being afraid of the future. He said that sometimes the strongest proof of love was not someone promising to keep you forever. Sometimes it was someone being willing to let you grow. Tian Xiwei slowly lifted her head. She asked why her grandfather was telling her all of this. His expression became softer. He told her that he wanted her to understand something before making any decision. He did not want her to marry someone simply because the family approved. He did not want her to stay with someone because other people believed they looked perfect together. He did not want her to sacrifice her happiness simply because everyone around her believed they knew what was best. His final wish was simple. He wanted Tian Xiwei to choose happiness without fear. That sentence broke her completely. She leaned toward him and held him tightly. She cried against his shoulder. Her grandfather gently placed his hand over her head. For the first time that evening, his serious expression disappeared. He looked peaceful. He told her that no matter what happened in the future, she should never forget that she had the right to choose her own happiness. But the story did not end there, because there was another part of the conversation Tian Xiwei had not expected. Her grandfather told her that Jeang Lingi was waiting outside. Tian Xiwei immediately pulled away. Her eyes widened. She asked if he had brought Zhang Linghe there on purpose. Her grandfather smiled. He said that some conversations could not be completed through other people. Tian Xiwei wiped her tears. She tried to calm herself. But before she could say anything else, the door slowly opened. Zhang Lingi walked into the room. He stopped when he saw Tian Xiwei. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. He could immediately see that she had been crying. His expression changed. He looked at her grandfather, then back at Tian Xiwei. He asked if everything was okay. Tian Xiwei tried to answer. Nothing came out. She looked down. Zhang Lingi slowly moved closer. He did not ask her to stop crying. He did not tell her that everything would be fine. Instead, he simply stood beside her. Her grandfather watched them carefully. Then he told Jeang Lingi that he had already told Tian Xiwei about his final wish. Jeang Lingi became serious. He knew exactly what the conversation meant. The grandfather asked him if he still remembered their earlier discussion. Jeang Lingi nodded. Then the grandfather asked him whether he was prepared to accept the responsibility that came with loving someone like Tian Xiwei. Jeang Lingi did not answer immediately. He looked at Tian Xiwei. She looked back at him through tears. Then he said something that made her grandfather smile. He said that he could not promise that life would always be easy. He could not promise that there would never be disagreements. He could not promise that they would never face difficult moments. But he could promise that he would never intentionally make her smaller just so he could feel bigger. Tian Xiwei's eyes filled with tears again. Her grandfather remained silent. Zhang Lingi continued. He said that if Tian Xiwei wanted to chase a dream, he would support her. If she wanted to take a different path, he would respect her. If she needed time, he would give her time. And if she ever needed someone to stand beside her when everything became difficult, he wanted to be that person. Tian Xiwei could no longer hold herself together. She began crying softly. But this time her tears were not only from sadness. They were tears of relief. For years, she had been afraid that choosing love might mean losing herself. But suddenly she realized that perhaps love did not have to be a cage. Perhaps real love could be the place where two people encouraged each other to become stronger. Her grandfather looked at both of them. Then he finally revealed why he had arranged the entire conversation. He wanted them to understand that a future together should never be built on pressure. It should be built on trust. He wanted Tian Xiwei to know that she was free to choose. And he wanted Zhang Lingi to understand that loving her meant respecting that freedom. The room became completely silent. Tian Xiwei looked at her grandfather. Then she looked at Zhang Lingi. For several seconds, she seemed unable to decide what to say. Finally, she walked toward her grandfather and held his hand. She told him that she understood his wish. She told him that she would not forget his words. And then she made a promise of her own. She promised that she would stop allowing fear to make every decision for her. Her grandfather smiled. It was the smile Tian Xiwei had been waiting to see all evening. But then something unexpected happened. Her grandfather reached into a small drawer beside him and pulled out an old envelope. He handed it to Tian Xiwei. She looked confused. She asked what was inside. Her grandfather told her that she should open it only when she was ready. Tian Xiwei slowly opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. She began reading. Her expression changed almost immediately. Her eyes widened. She looked at her grandfather. Then she looked at Jeang Lingi. She asked why he had never told her about this before. Her grandfather simply said that some things had to be discovered at the right moment. Tian Xiwei continued reading. The letter explained that her grandfather had spent years watching her become stronger. He wrote that he had always worried that the world would make her believe she needed to become harder in order to survive. But he never wanted that for her. He wanted her to remain kind. He wanted her to remain honest. He wanted her to continue believing that love could be something beautiful. And most importantly, he wanted her to understand that her future belonged to her. Tian Xiwei finished reading the letter.
She pressed it against her chest.
Her eyes closed. A quiet tear rolled down her cheek.